Nobody indeed. What is good? Get that off the screen. Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. I got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Big Greg, what's up, brother? How we doing?
Happy Thursday. Getting ready for that final day before Super Regionals get rolling. And yeah, exciting one with NBA Finals and NHL Stanley Cup Finals going right now. So good time to be a sports fan.
Dude, good time indeed, my boy. Good time indeed. Now, all right, Wednesday was a terrible morning show thanks to a company. But you know what? No excuses, all right? We push forward. We do everything that we can do. And it's going to be an awesome show today. All right. Before we look forward, we have to look back. Cubs, Nationals, Royals, and Cardinals did not play. Postponed due to weather, as we thought that it probably would. All right, now, Big Brad comes through. The footballs. All right. Over 3.5. Nailed that one. So we go 1-1 as a show. Okay. Now, we got a Howie Schwab crew play of the day. And it's game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight. So where are you going? Pacers plus 9.5. Thunder minus 9.5. Over 230.5 or under 230.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show. Okay. Now, got game 1, but we got all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to start off with the picks as we always do. All right. And then we're going to jump into it. And look, yesterday was a quick show. We got in and out. Today is not going to be that. All right. We're going heavy in the game today. So if everybody could, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're watching on your phone, grab your screen, pull it down, hit like, pop it right back up. The last of the last of you. But Greg, go ahead and start us off, my man. Lead off. What you got?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Super Regional action. We'll get through those first. Those will kick off tomorrow and Saturday. So make sure you got your times lined up. Oregon State, we have them to win the Super Regional. We also have them in game 1. Auburn, we have the same thing. We have them to win the Super Regional. We also like them in game 1. Murray State, I think that the Racers are going to continue to make some noise. Who would have thought Duke was where they are right now? They have been my kryptonite all year, along with Cal baseball for some reason. And you know what? I'm not scared to go against them right here. I think that last weekend may have been a little bit of a foolish result with this Blue Devils team who has been up and down. And when they're down, I think anybody can beat them just about. I think Murray State, the Racers, are as hot as they've been. And to me, if you're able to go in to a place like Starkville and you're able to win, you're able to beat an Ole Miss team at home in the midst of that wild celebration that was going on basically around them the whole game. They hang on. They move on to these supers. I think they get a pretty formidable opponent with Duke, so we'll take them again. Tonight, I like the over 230.5. We got it at 229.5. It has moved. I think that, what I've heard, and I continue to like the sound, is that both of these teams are not scared about pace. The Pacers, as we say it, are going to make that pace and set it. Sounds like they want to push. Sounds like they want to continue to hammer on this defense that wants to really clamp down on them. They have depth as well, which is the one thing that I really think can battle against this Thunder team. May or may not win the series. Hey, they may or may not win a game. But I think that tonight we're going to get action. We're going to get live legs, and we're going to see some pace up and down.
I'm with you, man. And did I hear you say you had issues with Duke baseball? Is that correct? Because, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Dude, they've been so up and down. But as of the last 3 weeks, they've been mashing, man. But I feel you. That's going to be a fun Super Regional, man. All right, 2 plays for me so far, and I see Tony in the chat said no MLB. Yeah, not yet. I want to take a look, and I want to go through it. We had the afternoon show today at 3 p.m. Eastern. We got a couple of day baseball games, but I want to make sure that we get it right because Major League Baseball, I don't know about you, man, but Major League Baseball has been weird, man. It's just been up and down. No runs, ton of runs. No runs, ton of runs. No runs, ton of runs, man. Dude, it's been nuts, man. My boy, AJ Sanders, the Paul, Coastal taking Auburn 2-0. There we go. Dude, that's going to be a hell of a series, dude. And, oh, man, AJ, so good to see you, buddy. Hope your dad's doing well, too, man. Sending my best. He's got one of the best dads, funniest dudes on the planet. All right. So 2 for me so far, NBA. All right, we're gonna go to some old classics here. Pascal Siakam over 1.5 threes plus 115. We're also gonna take Alex Caruso, headband up over 1.5 threes plus 120. We'll have more plays today at 3 p.m. Eastern on Driving the Nightline. But look, man, these are dudes, and I like both of these guys not only to get a lot of shots up tonight, but I mean, look at these numbers, man. They're very, very attainable. We only need 2 from each of these guys. So I really like them. And especially with, there's going to be attention on SGA. That there's going to be attention on Halliburton. And not only attention, but a little bit of pressure as well. So I like taking some of the sidecar dogs. All right. Pascal Siakam. Over at 1.5 threes plus 115, and then Alex Caruso over 1.5 threes at plus 120. Robert Bibbo, my boy, said, did anybody watch women's college softball? Yeah, drop that in. How was that? All right. Those are our picks. Those are our picks for today. Somebody punched me in the arm. All right. Did anybody ever do that when your voice cracked? One of your boys punched you in the arm? Maybe that was just us. I don't know. All right, let's jump. We're going to have some fun today. Strap in, man. This is going to be a blast. All right, let's start with the NBA, okay? Dude, that game was wild, wasn't it? Softball? All right. So, here we go. And I'll pull the chat down. Well, we can leave it up. All right. Pacers and the Thunder. All right, Thunder, 9.5-point favorites. Total 230.5. Money lines you see. Kind of gone on both sides. All right. Now, Greg, I throw it over to you. Let me pull this back up. You like the over. Break it down a little bit more. What do you see out of this?
I mean, above all else, what I can see happening is how this game gets over multiple ways. I think that, like you talked about, I expect a lot of shot quality. I expect a lot of shot variance across the board. There's so many guys that can get points in this game. And, above all else, like I've said, whether it be a beat writer, whether it be, interviews, whether it be Halliburton flat out saying it. I mean, the Pacers have made it clear that they're going to push the volume of shots, push the way that they're going to run offensively. And if they get into a half-court kind of game, the Thunder will just clamp them down and dominate them. The Pacers need to get out and score. We've seen them do it over and over and over again. I mean, they've got multiple guys that can do it. The biggest question to me isn't are they going to be able to do it from the other guys? It's who besides Halliburton is going to step up. And that's where, there's a lot of guys on this Pacers team that, offer that ability to not only score, but continue to distribute the ball well. And I think, again, with these fresh legs being the first finals for, a lot of these guys, it's going to be defense secondary and trying to put on a little bit of a show, I think, especially in game one where the clamps are off. And, obviously you'd love to get that 1-0 series lead, but I feel like there is going to be a lot of up and down, back and forth. Even if these two teams can't always help themselves, I think that naturally they both want to run.
Yeah, I do. And I think that, excuse me, I agree with you. And I also think that, it's who they are. And the last thing you want to do is go into a finals and be somebody completely different. You know what I mean? Just go out and be you. And with that, are both teams. So that's why I like playing threes props. I mean, I always do anyways, but now the fact that we have so many guys that can shoot and are willing and have the green light to do so, we're going to get a lot of shot opportunities. Z-Money says each of these teams only have one player with finals experience, right? Siakam and Caruso. Yeah. Bingo. Yeah, man. All right, so that being said, all right, let's play some games here. All right, you ready to play some games?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. First off, points on the Pacers side. Okay, so you can see him right there. Siakam over 19.5. Halliburton 17.5. Miles Turner 14.5. Nesmith 11.5, et cetera, et cetera. I won't read through all of them, but you can see them. All right. We're going to pick one from each of these. All right. I'll go first. You're going to give me Halliburton at 17.5? Yeah, I'll take Halliburton. Where are you going?
Siakam with that question. He's got to have a big series, and especially in terms of volume scoring. So you figure they'll double down Halliburton or at least trap him as much as they can and try to isolate him defensively. So I think that Siakam, Turner, multiple guys, but I think Siakam's a pretty under 20, under, what is he, 16? What am I looking at?
Siakam's 19.5.
19.5. See, under 20 to me is still tons of value, just like Halliburton under 18. So Siakam would be my side.
Yep. Look, Z-Money says Obi Toppin plays a lot in a blowout if you like that angle. Yeah, look, that's a good angle to look at, right? That's why I like guys like Caruso, like guys like Siakam. Not from a blowout perspective, but you're going to get them firing, with the starters, but you're going to get them firing regardless, right? Up, down, anything in between, man. Yeah, look, I'll go Halliburton. I'm a little surprised this number is that low on his points. Because even if I were the book, right? Like if I were the book, not many people are going to be playing unders on Tyrese Halliburton. Same thing with SGA. I'm going to make you pay a little bit of a tax, but that's why they're worth billions and I am not. All right, player points. Let's look at it the other side. All right, Thunder, you see SGA there? 33.5. Look, I'm going Caruso. No. I'll take that back. I'm going with my dog. Lukin's Dort over 9.5 points. Where are you going, man?
I was going to say the same thing. I think Dort, purely just off being such a great defender, is going to be on the floor a ton, so he's going to have opportunities to score. But I will bank right where you were talking about. I think Caruso, give me under 10 points, under 9 points. I think that it's a great opportunity for him. So I think both of those are great picks.
Yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, we're not fading SGA by any means with this. It's just a lot of points, man.
Yeah.
And for a team that, is obviously deep and can put points up from a lot of different dudes. If I'm getting guys like Dort, guys like Caruso, I'm with you. Under 10, yeah, absolutely going to jump all over that, man. My boy Cyclone said Halliburton was the assisting master last series. Big Curtis said he's going Chet Holmgren over 16.5. My man Zach Phelps said Siakam to score, assisted by Halliburton in the first 3 minutes, plus 290. FanDuel floor general. I like that, man. I like that indeed. All right, let's jump it over here to threes. All right, with the Pacers. So obviously I'm on Siakam over 1.5. Scott Y said, "What up, AB? What up, bro?" Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on Siakam. If I had to choose somebody else from this side, man, I might go Halliburton. 2.5. Like, again, Siakam is my choice, obviously, but Halliburton 2.5 is not bad, man. What do you see?
Yeah, I think so too. I think Siakam as well. I think that there's also opportunities with him to be a drive and dish guy. And if he's going to be out in three land and be isolated in places, I think that there's opportunity as well. The Pacers have no problem also distributing and dishing the ball well. So, I think that multiple chances across the board, especially above all else, I think, especially if they're going to be playing in an open-ended kind of back and forth game where they, like we said, we want to push it. I think there will be a lot of opportunities for assists when they're, running down the floor, either on a, 3-on-2 or 4-on-3 or whatever it may be, where they're trying to find somebody open.
Yep, I feel you there, man. All right, let's jump to the other side. Okay. Again, I'm on Caruso over 1.5 at plus 110, but I mean, SGA over 1.5 is sitting right there. Isaiah Joe is not bad for needing 1. But the juice is up there. Same thing. Jalen Williams over 1.5 is there, but minus 145 again. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Caruso, but if I had to choose somebody else, Man, I want to take Dort, but dude, over 2.5 is just a step too much. I'd probably go SGA. What about you?
Yeah, I would absolutely go SGA. I mean, that number is ridiculous. He could get that in the first 5 minutes. It's not to say that there's not opportunity for him. And again, just as wild as Indiana's going to go, it also is probably going to affect him eventually here defensively. So I expect there to be some breakdowns here and there with how hard they're going to be going after it on the offensive end. So I think that's a ridiculously low number to me, which obviously is a red flag, but doesn't always mean I'm going to ignore it.
Yeah, and I mean, what the books are counting on is the fact that he just might not need to shoot threes.
Yeah.
But again, like if you're feeling that you're gonna play like blowout style, I mean, you got to get points at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like to get a lead, somebody's gonna have to score. Like I'm with you, man. SGA over 1.5 solid. Ian Lights Out says FanDuel has Taylor fade boost on SGA threes. I mean, if this were at 2.5, I wouldn't play it. But 1.5, dude, man, I'd probably do it. But Alex Caruso is my dog. All right, let's go over the picks one more time. Then we're going to jump into Major League Baseball, and then we're going to jump into college baseball. But picks first. What you got, buddy?
I will add real quickly, I think that there's some value live right now on Rory McIlroy at 13-1. I think it's gone down to 11-1 right now, but live in the RBC Canadian first round. Just an addition while we're on here live with it. But yeah, in terms of tonight, I've harped on it. I've spoken about it multiple times today, and why I think it's going to happen, which probably means it ends like 95-90. But we are on the over 230.5. We got it at 229. It's kind of floating around that number in the Pacers Thunder over tonight in game one. And then with super regionals this weekend, starting tomorrow and Saturday, we're on Oregon State. We're going to continue to ride those Beavers. Play of the year comes through with them to win the regional, and we will keep riding them. We have a future on them to make the World Series and win the World Series, so we'll back it up with the super regional. We expect them to win game one and win the series. Same thing with Auburn. We expect them to win game one in the series. It's going to be a battle against Coastal Carolina, but I love what Auburn has done this year. And finally, the Murray State Racers, the big dog here. I like them in game one. Like them to have a chance to win the series. Plus 260 is a great number with a team who has already gone in and proven they can handle a big game environment. Going into Ole Miss, winning that game 7 like that, not completely blowing that lead, but trying, I think is really going to have a good effect on them. They pitched the ball well, and they can absolutely hit, scoring over 10 runs a game they've averaged. I think they'll continue to stick it. Duke's going to be a team that's vulnerable. It was almost too easy for them to the regionals, so we're going to hop on those Murray State Racers.
Love it, man. All right, I'm going to go. Our boy Reed Phillips going to love that you went all over the Murray State Racers, man. That's the squad. All right. I'm going to go Pascal Siakam over 1.5 threes tonight, plus 115. Also going to go Alex Caruso over 1.5 threes tonight at plus 120. All right, we're going to hit Major League Baseball, and then we're going to go through every super regional. We're going to break down everything that you need. Look at Reed right there. Racers, baby.
I have a future on the Florida State Seminoles as well, Mills. So just so you know, I'm not an anti-Florida State guy, but I think that there's value. They couldn't have gotten a worse draw, but we'll get into that after.
Yeah, we're going to – dude, if you want a college super regional breakdown, you're about to get it. But let's go to Major League Baseball first. All right, our favorite game here, buddy, home runs. We got to hit one today. Let me pull the chat off. Here are our 5 options. Brent Rooker, plus 325. Bryce Harper, plus 350. Riley Green, plus 365. Gino Suarez, plus 375. Manny Machado, plus 450. Where are you going today, big dog?
I think I'm going to go with Mr. Harper today. And, I lean kind of Machado a little bit, but I think Harper, it's his day. I think that maybe we're going to get some action from a Philly. We were on Schwarber the other day, and today we'll go with Harper.
I like it, man. I like it. I want to go Machado, but I'm going to go Suarez. Plus 375. I think that they've got an excellent shot here at getting down, man. This is a tough list. It's a tough list today, but I'm gonna go Suarez, man. I I think the Diamondbacks can eat. I think they can get all over it, all over it. Now, our man Paul, Big Dope P, be dead on about the Red Sox game. Those weather and hitting condition reports are dead on. Hey, appreciate you, man, and that's exactly why we do it, and that's why we're gonna jump in right here. So drop who you've got for your home runs today, and let's jump through weather right now. Diamondbacks to the Braves, day game, 12:15 p.m. Eastern. All right. Now the wind is nothing to worry about whatsoever here. But look at the temperature and the humidity. All right, temperature high 70s, humidity low 80s to mid 80s. It is hot. I'm here in Nashville. I'm not far from Atlanta. Been about 3.5 hour drive, so kind of in the same weather pattern here. It's muggy already, I can tell you. All right, we have very, very nice hitting conditions today in that game. Don't worry about the wind. Focus on the humidity. That's where it's at. Next one, Tigers and the White Sox. All right, two teams that don't necessarily blast, but I think that they've got a chance. They've got a chance. We're not saying that they're going to, but they've got a chance because of the wind. Now, weather, not great, but not terrible. All right, in Chicago, mid 60s here. We've got low 60s in terms of humidity. So we're fine. We're good. But look at the wind blowing out. All right, right field, right. Well, almost left to right here. But 11.5 miles an hour. So you've got a chance at home runs today. I can't promise you anything else with these two teams at the plate, but you have a shot at bombs here. Cubs and the Nationals. Now, this is where it gets frustrating because these teams can score a ton and they can also not at all. And it's frustrating, man. But Cubs and Nationals, this might be the best hitting condition day that we have. Mid 80 temperature, mid 80s humidity, no rain, 7-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left center. I mean, you cannot ask for a better day of hitting for these two teams. Now, are they going to do it? We'll see. But you have great hitting conditions here for both the Cubs and the Nats. All right, Guardians and the Yankees. Again, mid 80s, humidity, mid 80s, no rain, wind blowing out. All right, you've got a phenomenal shot at getting down here, man. A phenomenal shot at getting runs all over the board. But they're going to have to do it. All right. And you're going to want the Yankees kind of lead this charge here, man. So you got 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left field, right-handed pull hitters, Aaron Judge. Great shot here. And, I mean, look, it's not like the Guardians don't have a lineup either, but going to have to get on it. All right. And finally, Rangers and the Rays. Okay, for the love of everything, okay, you got a minor league park. This might be the best hitting condition day of any of the games. I know I said that earlier, but this one actually might be mid 80 temperature, feels like mid 90s, humidity huge, and the rain precipitation chances exactly what we want. Very, very low. All right, that humidity just sitting like a big warm can of soup over the entire field, man. This is what we want here. But again, I mean, these are two teams. Who the hell knows what you're going to get in regards to hitting with these guys? But they've got every opportunity to do it today. All right, let's take a look at our hitter versus pitcher historicals. Suarez right at the top off Grant Holmes. 3 hits, 4 at-bats, all 3 of them home runs. Big Roger Long, morning liners. Morning, buddy. Good to see you. Jonathan India, get your boy Miles, 8 hits, 25 at-bats, 3 walks, 3 home runs. Manny Machado, 3 hits, 13 at-bats, 2 home runs. Freddie Freeman, 6 hits, 24 at-bats, 2 home runs. Kyle Schwarber, 7 hits, 16 at-bats, 2 home runs. Max Kepler, 1 hit, 7 at-bats, a home run. Aaron Judge, 1 hit, 1 at-bat, 1 home run. There you go. Matt Chapman against Dylan Cease. You can see it. He's got a home run. Muncy, Springer, Will Smith, Pete Alonso, Josh Jung, Teoscar Hernandez, Michael Bush. You can see those there. We've got some dudes with history of hitting home runs today. All right. Let's invert it here. Flip it around. All right. Enrique Hernandez, 5 hits, 11 at bats. Shohei Ohtani, 5 hits, 14 at bats. You're seeing a lot of Dodgers on here. All right. Mookie Betts, 4 hits, 14 at bats. Wilson Contreras of the Cardinals, 3 hits, 5 at bats. Yeah, and you can read it. Austin Riley there against Bat, 3 hits, 8 at bats. Salvador Perez listed on here. Brandon Marsh listed on here. Big Drake Baldwin for the Braves stepping up. 2 hits off of 3 at bats. Okay. Hitting streaks, Carlos Santana, still your leader, 13 straight games with a hit. Christian Yelich, 11 straight games with a hit. Pena, 10 straight games with a hit. Gurriel, 10 straight games with a hit. Big Colt Keith, 10 straight games with a hit. Yeah, and you can see it there. Mike Trout's got 8. Bichette's got 8. Michael Bush has 6. Jeff McNeil, the Mets, has 6. Yeah, there we go right there. All right. That is our Major League Baseball breakdown. All right. Greg, it's time we talk a little college baseball. You in on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So here's what we've got. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. Super regionals. All right. It's a best 2 of 3 series, meaning team that wins 2 games wins the series. They're either going to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Okay. Andrew White, AB, did they remove the home run total over on our DraftKings? No, that's where I got these this morning. I don't know. They might have taken it down. Usually when they do that, they'll pull it back up. But no, that's where I found these. Just give it a minute. It should refresh. All right. So like I said, Super Regionals, this is how it breaks down. And again, this is the bracket. This is exactly how it works. So let's just use the home teams on the left-hand side. All right. Louisville, if they win the Super Regional against Miami, they would face Oregon State if they win the Super Regional against Florida State, right? North Carolina, Auburn. We're just using the home teams just as the example. So if you're betting futures, okay, if you're betting futures, teams that are on the left and teams that are on the right, they will not play each other until literally the championship series of said College World Series. So this is the bracket. It follows in full. This is exactly how it gets down. Okay. Now, let's jump over here. Let's break down game number 1. All right. Arizona, North Carolina. All right, Greg. Who do you like to win the series? Who do you like game 1?
I think they probably win it in 2 games. One of the
Say it again. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I think that UNC probably handles this series in 2 games. I think that pitching depth for them is incredible. They've got, a true number 1. And what they've shown through this past weekend is, no matter who it is, they started a freshman on Sunday, and they've looked good. Timely hitting. The lineup looks solid top to bottom. The biggest concern I would have, and it's not going to be this weekend, in my opinion, because I think they'll cruise through, but 2 freshmen in the back end of their pitching rotation, finishing off games, things get a little bit brighter, a little bit faster, and it's always tough. But, it's different than shooting a free throw with throwing a strike. So you get a couple options to make a mistake. I think that UNC should roll through this one. 2.5 runs is a little questionable because Arizona can pitch. Arizona plays a lot of low-scoring games. We've seen it all year long. Arizona absolutely benefited in this regional to get through how they did, but I think that they run into a wall here with North Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is going to be brutal for Arizona to win. Don't get me wrong, they can do it, but North Carolina is just a wagon. And
is there? I don't mean to interrupt you. Is there an offer or a book where we can buy series games instead of full series prices? I haven't seen anywhere, but I was wondering if anybody had a -1.5 or a +1.5 or anything like that for them to win, in 2 games instead of 3.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those up yet,
Yeah.
but usually they have them.
Yeah.
They'll probably come out today.
Actually, Kirk just said it right now. -1.5 or -184. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Look, you know what? I don't know if I'd bet that though. North Carolina can screw around, and Arizona, they can hit. That's why I like the over in game 1. You could go ahead and give that to me right now. All right, I mean, I've already bet it. Like, go ahead and give me the over 10 of that one right there. Okay. Let's jump over the next one here. Miami and Louisville. I'll go first on this. I think Louisville wins this series. Again, Miami's the ultimate wild card. There's no way to know what Miami team you're going to get because they don't know. Every game is different. They could score a ton of runs or they could score nothing. But Louisville is pretty consistent. Like, I like Louisville to win the Super Regional. Yeah, Tony said it. You want Miami, but you can't trust them. That's the problem, man. I don't mind the over of 12 in game 1. Louisville. If you're looking at game 1, money line is there to parlay with something if you'd like. I would want to take the run line, but I can't try. I don't know what you're going to get out of Miami. Like, so I would limit the risk with any of this, not only game 1, but any of the games in the series. But look, I'll roll with the over, but Louisville money line, solid. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to take Miami. We had Miami to win the regional at +375, and I thought it really came down to the way that their starting pitching could line up. We've seen at times they've got a great number 1 and number 2, guys that are experienced, guys that attack the zone, and guys that have that swagger. But the Miami offense is just completely flip a card. You don't know what you're getting, and it's been continual issues. I would love to take Miami, but I would need to see it at 165, 175, 135 to me is just insanely too low. You have a better opportunity looking at them for an individual game to me than the series, since you're basically getting the same price. I think Louisville, above all else, impressed me with the way that they were able to play in that last regional. Biggest concerns I had for them was actually getting outs and winning any sort of realistic score game. We see so often they're winning 14-12, losing 15-12. That's not going to benefit you long term. You're going to run out of pitching. You can't expect your offense to stay like that, as consistent. And I think that really what showed to me was that 6-0 game and a couple other spots where, they got good starting pitching and they got depth out of the bullpen. And I think that's where Miami's going to struggle, because Miami has to get solid starting pitching or they're screwed, quite frankly.
Louisville's just such a consistent team. And after we look at game 1s, I'll pull up the odds for winning the series so that we could go through those and take a look and break those down as well. Because I want to make sure because that's a very big, important part of it. But as for game 1 here, again, like I want to take Miami, but I just can't. I cannot trust them. I cannot trust them at all.
I lean the under in that game, but again, Miami could suddenly show up. I think 12 to me, if it was 12.5, I'd like it a little more, but I would lean the under 12 on that one, just because I do expect some nerves. I probably expect both these teams to play some small ball too.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. All right. Florida State, Oregon State. Now, look at this. Florida State on the road. Favorite in game one. Somewhat. Money lines minus 115 on both sides. Got a total of 11. And yeah, you see the run line there. Florida State minus 1.5 plus 135. Oregon State plus 1.5 minus 175. You can go ahead and give me the over in this game. 11. I'll take that right now. What do you got?
Yeah, I agree. First thing I was going to say is I think at the end of the day, both these teams have good pitching. I mean, Oregon dominated USC in those final two games and looked like the Oregon State that I really have, watched throughout the year. I've talked to a couple people about it. They remind me of Notre Dame. They're able to create their own conference that they've got now. They're picking their own schedule. They don't have to win a division or a conference, putting the pressure on themselves through the whole year. I feel like if anybody, Oregon State has set themselves up into probably the best position possible, being able to work their pitching, get their staff in order. And yes, they've got some poor losses, but if you look at who's playing in those games, they're getting backups. They're getting the young guys. And what matters is now, really above all else, they now still have a national host. They got the most beneficial spot of all in terms of getting Florida State, who's traveling by far the most of anybody. And, I think that both these teams have a great offense. We saw what, Oregon did alone against a solid USC pitching staff. And obviously they were running out of gas by game 7. But I think both these teams, whether it's Arnold or not Friday night, I think that both of these teams can score. And quite frankly, they could both get there on their own. 11 to these teams is not an absolute barn burner. The weather's nicer in Oregon. It's not this muggy, or it's not this gross, rainy, ugly weather. It's consistent up north now. It's getting better as we go. It's into June. I think 11 is way too low.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. Over City for me in game one. You're right on Florida State, traveling far. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Over 11.
I will say, and watching it in person, Florida State struggled and looked a little out of sorts when they were out here last time. They played Cal out here and, got shut out on Friday night. Did not look great. And yes, Florida State took that series, but they did not look like a dominant top, 10 team in the country. So they'll have to bring it. I think that, amazingly enough, Oregon State still is not getting nearly the love that they really should, and of being such a national powerhouse.
Yeah. I questioned the chat here. Spelldog said, thoughts on Arizona UNC over 10.5. I mean, if that's all you can get, yeah, go ahead. What do you?
I say lean the over.
Yeah. And then 11. All these are live right here on DraftKings. Well, I don't know if everybody has DraftKings, but I mean, you didn't have to answer the question. You can just go get 10 right now. 11.5. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go any further. Like, these are super regional game ones, but I mean, I wouldn't mind 11.5. Greg, you?
High, but I would still have a tough time looking. I could see, either of these teams getting out a little bit more. So it'd be hard. It'd be hard to take it under on that one.
Yep. I'm with you. And this one is Friday at 5 p.m. That's Central Time, so 6 p.m. Eastern. Then the final game on Friday, Coastal Carolina and Auburn. Auburn minus 154 money line. Favorite. Minus 1.5 is plus 105. Brooksville is going to be a pretty solid, pretty close game here. Coastal Carolina built on pitching. Auburn can do both. Coastal can do both. But runs could worry me here, even though this total is very low. Like, I love playing overs, but man, this one's hard. I'll take the over 11. What do you like here?
I think Coastal really benefits as much as anybody from that home crowd advantage too. That home field is huge for them. Auburn, kind of the same thing. Auburn's got a very unique field too. We talked about it before. They've got their little mini monster in left field, and they've played great at home this year. I like what Auburn's able to do too in terms of the base pass. They're able to play small ball. They've got really good speed. They've got athletes at Auburn. They really do. above all else, I think what they're going to need is starting pitching. If they're able to keep themselves in these games, that offense has been good. And Coastal concerning with how they've played in quad one games, especially with some of the bigger boys. On top of that, it was a big emotional weekend for them. The way that they were able to win that was big. I worry that now traveling to Auburn is going to be a huge deal. This is the biggest game for Auburn baseball in quite a long time, let alone the series. And I'm not saying that Coastal's not going to be up for the task. I just think that Auburn does have a little bit extra. The Coastal pitching is absolutely phenomenal. And Auburn's been able to put it together well. So I'm intrigued to see where this is going to go. It's going to be a fabulous series. Like it really is. I give the lean to Auburn because of the odds. I like the number. I thought it, around 150-ish was good, especially with how they've been able to battle, played well through that regional in small and high scoring games. So I just like the way that the Tigers are playing right now. And, either way, it's going to be a great series. Both of these teams are more than qualified to get into Omaha and make some noise. So should be a really good one.
Yeah, look, this is going to sound like the most simplistic, dumbest comment ever, but it's baseball. Can Auburn hit Coastal's pitching? If they can, Coastal's smoked.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Coastal's going to want to play a high-scoring run game affair. Not that they can't, but this Coastal team isn't the same as what we've seen over the last few years of just mashers everywhere. But if Auburn can't hit their pitching, we could see very low-scoring games. Very low-scoring games. And if Coastal's working their starters and their bullpen correctly, like if they can get in a sync, you could see unders in all of these games. Now, I'm not saying that Coastal runs through and just sweeps them. I mean, they can. Like, this one is up in the air. Coastal could win in 2 games. This thing could be over on Saturday. I'm not kidding. But Auburn could do the same. If Auburn comes out and lights Coastal up on Friday, buddy, they could sweep this thing. I think this is going to be a very difficult series, like right now perspective. And again, we'll pull up the series numbers here in just a minute. I just want to go through game ones. But yeah, who can get the other team in bullpen trouble quicker? That's the name of the game here. Whoever can do it, yeah, that's going to put them in a great spot. All right. Game 1 on the right side of the bracket starts on Saturday. Okay. 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Murray State and Duke. Okay. Duke, the host. Total 12.5. Duke money line minus 360. Duke minus 2.5 on the run line. You like Murray State here, man? What do you see?
As much as I like Murray State, I also like runs. I think that both these teams can score. I just, these offenses are what's carried. And I think that Murray State's going to take a collective breath after getting out of Ole Miss with that victory. And, now they move on to a less hostile environment, I would say, for one. But a team that, like I mentioned, averaging double digits this season offensively, and a Duke team that's figured it out in the last few weeks, if not month, and playing absolutely terrific baseball. I lean the over 12.5. I'd lean Murray State team total over if you can find it. I think that those are both reasonable. I think whoever wins game 1 of this series wins the series. I think it probably ends 2-0. And I would think that, if it finds a way to game 3, all 3 of them are going to be high scoring. Both, obviously it's going to change a little bit. Pitching staffs now know they're only going 3 games at most. We're not getting into game 5, whatever, game 6 of a weekend when it's absurd and you're picking guys off the streets to throw an inning or 2 at the end. And it's, these coaches, these smart ones, the ones that have handled weekend series correctly, the ones that have been to a super regional, they know how to handle it. They know how to manage the pitching staffs. Mentioned it with Oregon State. I think that they're in a good position, how they put things together over the years slowly. It's going to be interesting to see how we get out in this game. I think 12.5 is a great number to take the over. It was 12. I see 12.5 now. Like I said, I do think Murray State as well over that 4.5 is way too low.
You said something that I completely agree with. Whoever wins Friday or whoever wins Saturday, game 1, this might be a sweep either way, because Duke has pressure on them. Don't get me wrong. Duke does. I know that this season has been all up and down, but the way that they got put out last year and the team that they had and the team that they have, do not get me wrong. They're going to have pressure. And if Murray State puts it all over them in game 1 on Saturday, they're likely to do the same thing on Sunday in game 2. Same deal, though. Flip it over. Murray State, the bats in the regionals were live every game. Well, can you do it again? Can you do it again a week later? Easier said than done. I've seen plenty of teams that absolutely mashed in regionals, couldn't hit a damn thing. Super regionals. Teams that couldn't hit in regionals but got through, came out and mashed. Look, not to go against you, but I'm rolling Duke here. I think that Duke has something to prove. But I've said that before, so be careful there. But yeah, getting that over, if you got it at 12, nice work. All right, game 2 on Saturday, West Virginia, LSU. All right, and again, these are game 1s. We'll get the series numbers up right after this. Game 1 Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. LSU, money line -315. They're a lesser money line to take than Duke is against Murray State. LSU -315, total of 11, and LSU -2.5 on the run line, -115. LSU's built on pitching. Don't get me wrong, they're built on hitting too. West Virginia was absolutely mashing. I think that they could do it again. LSU's pitching, as we saw, is not unhittable. Little Rock got all over it twice. But if you ask me in a game 1, I want to take the over, but man, LSU games can get low. I actually might roll the under on this one. I might take the under 11. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this one's kind of perplexing. I think that LSU wins the series. Big shocker. I think they're more comfortable again at home with Series 2. Being able to host again. And I've got zero problem fading West Virginia. They hit our future on the Big 12 somehow. Strangest finish I've ever seen with the way they graded that one. But West Virginia, that offense is what makes this team go. I've got concerns that, like you said, LSU has been based more around pitching, but I think this might be a weekend where that offense gets a chance to show up. West Virginia has been less than lethal on the mound. Let's just say it's been a staff that's been thrown together through the year. They've got a couple good guys on top, but when you look at what SEC baseball is every weekend, and I'm an SEC hater a little bit, being a West Coast guy, I'm supposed to be. But regardless, when you see the velocity and the level of talent that you're getting day in, day out, it's nothing against West Virginia. It's nothing against the smaller schools, but LSU's been there, done that. I think this is time for the cream to rise to the top. I think the way that they finished off, came back from behind on Little Rock. We had Little Rock in that game. We also had the over, but unfortunate they couldn't get there. But you know what? LSU was the right team to be here. They stepped up when they needed to. I liked how they scored a couple runs of insurance in that 9th inning to add as well. I think that LSU is a pretty good opportunity here. 2.5 is high. I think if you were going to take the 2.5, you might as well just take the over 11. I would expect West Virginia to still score some runs, but I think LSU offensively is able to open up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the problem is that, like, speaking of the under, I mean, 6-5 is a push.
And that's crazy low scoring in college baseball when you really look
Crazy low.
And
Yeah, I agree. That's why I didn't place it. This one's tough, but LSU handling business, I'm with it because the way that LSU got through regionals, right? That they're dangerous now. They should have been put out. They should have been put out, and they weren't. And now people might have to pay for that. And I think West Virginia could be stepping in front of a train. It's going to be unbelievably loud in Baton Rouge. All right, Alex Box Stadium. The box is what you see in LSU football games at night. You see LSU baseball. Like there's no difference. It is loud. It is rowdy. They've got a middle reliever in Chase Shores that can throw 101, and he's 6'8". Don't know where it's going at every time, but they've got dudes. And I don't have a strong play on game one, but I have a strong play on LSU. And look, I love West Virginia. I love everything about them. But LSU might be the most dangerous team in Super Regionals because, quite frankly, and I know, all right, that their coaching staff let them boys know you're not supposed to be here. Your asses should have been out. Now, what are you going to do about it? And that's dangerous. LSU could win this one by Sunday. Tennessee and Arkansas. Total of 10.5. I'm on the over in this game. And yes, I understand that there are aces going here. All right. I mean, major league pitchers. Both sides. But I saw this series a couple weeks ago, and I think it's going to be cranked up even more. These two teams hate each other. If you want to watch a super regional where two teams absolutely hate each other, the coaches hate each other, the fan bases hate each other, this is it. Problem is that Arkansas is really good. Arkansas might be the best team in the country. And I'm on the over in game one. That's where I sit. What about you?
Yeah, I think, I don't think this is the series of the weekend. Florida State, Oregon State to me will be another really good one. But, this is your World Series preview to a lot of people. I think this could have been, the finals if they would have lined up correctly. And like you said, this one's going to get real interesting. I think there's going to be chirpiness the whole time. There's going to be going back and forth, and these two, there's no holding back here. I think it's going to be an absolute battle every pitch, every inning. I like Arkansas, like I said, to win this thing. Wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee hung around, but I think that home crowd in Tennessee makes a big difference. Arkansas is going to be endlessly all over these guys the entire time. Their fan base is going to be riled up, fired up at them. These two coaches, maybe they should just brawl before the thing starts.
I think so. Like, they're just here's the thing for Tennessee. They have got to win on Friday. Or, Saturday. Apologies. Tennessee has to win game one. Has to win game one. If they don't, they could be out by game two. That's a very real possibility. They have to win with Liam Doyle in game one on Saturday. It could be serious trouble if they don't. Now, here's the other thing. If Tennessee does win game one, the amount of pressure that is on Arkansas is more than any other team here. Because don't get me wrong, all these teams have pressure to win it all because they can. Arkansas's never won a national championship. ever. And they've been here over and over and over and over and over. And they're going up against a team who is the reigning national champions, who absolutely hates them as much as they hate Tennessee. And if Tennessee comes out and wins game 1, in game 2, Arkansas will have a ridiculous amount of pressure on them. A ridiculous amount. So you've got to be careful here, Arkansas, because if you lose game 1, it could get bad in a hurry. And the same way that we have and talk about crowds and home field advantage, yeah, Father Weather crowd Fayetteville gets rowdy. Absolutely. There you go. Right there. It was such an awesome experience playing there. Yes. Like they Arkansas is rowdy as hell. But the same way that a crowd can benefit you and help you, when you're if Tennessee wins game 1 on Saturday and you go to game 2 and Tennessee gets a lead, that rowdiness turns into quiet and it turns into stress because you can feel it if you're an Arkansas player. You could feel it if you're an Arkansas coach. You could feel it if you're in the crowd. Arkansas has to win game 1. Do they? You're going up against Liam Doyle, who might be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And he's going to be popping. But Arkansas, I do believe Arkansas is the best team in the country. Like top to bottom, they could do it all. Arkansas could cover this total by themselves. Arkansas could all of it. Arkansas is good enough to where Tennessee couldn't, to where Tennessee could potentially not even be in this series. If Arkansas comes out on Saturday in game 1 and lights up Liam Doyle and gets him out of there, trouble. Because Marcus Phillips in game 2, and I love MP, but that's a lot to carry, man. That's a lot to carry. Bullpens are going to be incredibly important on Saturday in game 1. Incredibly important. Who can get the starter out of the game first? But, yeah, we'll talk more about that one. But it's going to be a war. All right, then finally, on Saturday, UTSA, UCLA. All right, in Los Angeles, got a total 12. UCLA, minus 175, money line favorite. Minus 1.5 on the run line at even money. UTSA's been your dogs, man. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to I wish they weren't playing UCLA. I have a weird feeling with, being biased with California a little bit too, but talk about consistency. 47-13 this year for UTSA. We had the Roadrunners, like you said, 20-1 to win the AAC earlier this year, and it was not a fluke. I wrote an article earlier this year about them, and they've beat team after team. They beat Texas A&M the beginning of March when they were still, ranked as high as, I guess, 14 or 13. They beat Texas 3 times this season, for people that don't remember. They beat Texas earlier this year at Texas. They went and beat Texas twice in Texas in this region to take it. It wasn't a ton of doubt either. They handled business. They looked professional. They hit the ball well. They pitched good enough to win. And you know what? Winning in Texas is a big deal. They handled them too, 7-4 in the championship, and it didn't even feel that close. They got out early and hung on, and that pitching staff looked great. UCLA, a team that's had a great year as well on the mound, split the Big Ten title with Oregon. Not as strong down the stretch as I'd like, but boy, oh boy, did they look good over the regional series. Pitching looked solid. They rolled right through their region. And I think that this one's going to be more of a pitching series than anything. UCLA has no problem playing small ball. They do not mind trading outs for runs and vice versa. UTSA likes to score. They also have no problem at times if they need to play small ball. I think UCLA's pitching is going to be the difference in this one. I lean the under 12. I like UCLA in the series as much as I hate to say it. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to see UTSA hang around in this one. I think, though, that it is going to be a struggle offensively. UCLA has a terrific pitching staff top to bottom who's gotten better as the year's gone on and looked really good this past weekend.
Yeah, for me, you just said that it comes down to UCLA's pitching, and I don't disagree with that. But I think it comes down to UCLA's bats. Like, UCLA was unbeatable when you're scoring runs like that over and over and over and over. I mean, you're scoring 7, 8, 9, 10 runs in a game in college baseball postseason. Dude, it's going to be impossible to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, if UCLA shows up like we saw, I don't even think this is going to be a series. But if it doesn't, UTSA can smoke UCLA. UTSA, like you said, you have been on this from before the season even started. And you were right that this team is so much better all around than people give them credit for. They can pitch way better than people think that they can. And they can hit too. Like, UTSA actually might be the more well-rounded team in this series. It's just, can you put it all together again?
They've had a great schedule. I mean, they've played an incredible non-conference schedule, and you stay in the state of Texas, it's not a surprise, quite frankly. You look at who they've played, and you give them a lot of credit for who they did schedule, and they're not a walkover for these Texas teams.
No, I mean, we said it on here before the regional even started. Texas, look out. Like, now here's the deal, though. It's one thing taking out your quote-unquote big brother. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that disrespectfully to UTSA, but it's Texas. Like, it's the namesake university of the state, right? It means something more. Not to go SEC mantra on you there, right? But it does. Now you're going to Los Angeles. And I'm not saying that any of the will to win is gone in that, but it's just a little different. Again, I think it comes out of UCLA's bats. And UCLA is going to show you right out of the gate. They're either going to be hitting Saturday in game one, and that'll continue all series, or it is cold dead. And I don't know which one you're going to get. But I do like UCLA to win the series. So these are game ones. Now, let's take a look at the prices here, okay, to win said series. All right, and we're going to go 4 at a time. We'll go left side, and we'll go right side. And apologies, it doesn't look beautiful on here, but we're doing what we can. Blame the producer. Okay. So I'll throw it to you first. UCLA, UTSA.
I haven't taken a number in the series yet, and I still am up in the air. But you know what? It's not fair for me to suddenly jump off this train. Let's ride with UTSA. You know what? Okay. I've loved what I've seen. I worry maybe leaving the state of Texas might be the worst thing for them. But you know what? UCLA is not a place that's a huge home field advantage. They've already played in bigger stadiums. They've already played in bigger crowds. They've already won in bigger venues. I think they bring that swagger. I think the plus 145 is decent. And like you mentioned, I think this series goes 3 games no matter what. So I think that 145 is not a bad spot for them.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not, but I'm going to go UCLA, and I'm going to money line that. And you could parlay that however you want. I believe I've got them with LSU in that one. So, yeah, I'm going to go UCLA here. All right, Oregon State, Florida State. Even, minus 115.
Oregon State's been my darling, like I said as well. I've liked them all year. They come through in grand fashion with the way they handled that regional. And I think this is a team that's on a mission. Florida State is a terrific team, but playing away from home is always different. Big advantage playing in Tallahassee. That stadium definitely has its advantages. Now they're traveling, like I said, as far as you could possibly be. It's definitely a different venue. I mean, you're in the Northwest. It's a different feel. Everything's a little bit different. Like I said, they struggled earlier this year a little bit against Cal when they were out here. Florida State's still one of the best teams, obviously one of the best starting staffs with that trio of lefties, but I think Oregon State's able to get through it. I love what I saw offensively. It scored a ton of runs in those last couple games. I think it carries over. Give me Oregon State.
Yeah, look, Oregon State is dangerous. The same thing we talked about with LSU, right? Like Oregon State lost game 1 of the regionals, and a lot of teams don't get out of that. But they did. And they're very dangerous now. Excuse me. But I'm going to go Florida State. I think Florida State's on a mission here. This team can just hit and hit and hit and hit and hit. And I think they keep that going. I'm going to go Florida State here. All right. Arkansas, Tennessee. I think we both chose Arkansas, didn't we?
Yeah, we both liked Arkansas.
Yeah. Look, if you're a Tennessee fan, just bet Arkansas to win the Super Regional. And you're a winner either way. But I think that Arkansas, again, they could be the best team in the country. They are just so good at everything that they do. Everything that they do. I'm going to go Arkansas. I'm not going to think too terribly much about it. If Tennessee wins this Super Regional, they win it. But I'm going to roll with Arkansas here. All right. North Carolina and Arizona. I think we're both on North Carolina here. If you're going to take them to win it, you're going to have to parlay it with something. But you got options. I mean, if you like Oregon State, you can do that. You can get that down to even money. Florida State, same deal. You got options there. But are we both going North Carolina here?
Yeah. I mean, you got a big enough bankroll. Hammer them. I think 330 is still value. I think North Carolina could be even higher. I think they dominate this series like we talked about. I think 2 games and it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. It's one of those I don't want to think too terribly much about. I'm just going to roll North Carolina, parlay it, and go. All right. Auburn, Coastal. Auburn, minus 145 to win the Super Regional. Coastal plus 115. Where you go?
Took Auburn in this one. I said I wouldn't be surprised as well, but like we said, Coastal needs to pitch well. It's not a matter of they're going to get decent pitching. They have got to pitch well. We know it. Wouldn't surprise me if they get it. But you know what? Auburn's played well. Auburn's won in different fashions. And to me, it's about Auburn's pitching. If they're able to get outs, I think they've got a really nice opportunity as well. Like I said, Coastal in that quad 1 struggling a little bit, and that big advantage playing at home. They do not have that anymore. So I will go with Auburn.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to roll Auburn here. Even though nothing against Coastal, I just think Auburn could get the runs and put them up. Louisville, Miami. I'm going Louisville in this series. What about you?
Yeah, I am too. Like I said, I think Miami deserved more value if you were going to look at them. I think Louisville, after we saw them able to pitch, get outs, not have to win or lose these massive scoring games, showed me something. Miami has to pitch well to win, and we can't trust that offense. We've said it before. We don't know what we're getting from them, and I think that last regional was really their championship. I don't expect them to move forward past this.
Yeah, I quite frankly, if you'd have told me 2 months ago that Miami was in the Super Regionals, I would have not laughed at you because they've got a good team, but they're so erratic. And Louisville, kind of like Vanderbilt, and I don't say it because Vanderbilt's out. I say it as a positive thing. Louisville is just so consistent, man. Their bats get going. They can pitch. They don't beat themselves. Louisville's just a good baseball team, man. So I'm going to go Louisville there. Duke, Murray State. This one is in Duke, Durham, North Carolina. Duke minus 380 favorite. Murray State plus 290. You're on Murray State.
Let's live a little bit, right? Let's involve ourselves with some racers action. Lord help me if I'm going to take this Blue Devils team, especially at this number. I've probably solidified Duke will win this thing in 2 games with the way that it's gone for me and trying to figure out this team. But you know what? Murray State at almost 3-1. It's a pretty darn good value, I'll be honest. And yeah, we know the teams have come up and down, and scoring is what does it for them. But you know what? They went into Fayetteville and handled business with a wild crowd, improved what I already thought about them, and I think it continues. Let's live a little, like I said. Give me the Murray State Racers at plus 290.
There we go. All right, and I'll get all the picks up on the screen that Greg and I have all throughout the Super Regionals so far, and then finally LSU, West Virginia, LSU minus 400 to win the Super Regional. Yeah, I've got LSU paired in a money line. I believe UCLA. But yeah. Shout out to West Virginia. I love them, but LSU, I think they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, back to Mountain Mama for West Virginia. I think it's probably end of the run for them. I would look at parlaying LSU with North Carolina, like we talked about as well. Not incredible odds, but still pretty reasonable in terms of what we've been thinking with how both of these teams should probably handle business. UNC and LSU, I've got at 161, which is still pretty high, but you know what? Taking business out of every part of it besides just winning that series, I think is not too bad. We expect business from both of them. LSU, the better team in every facet, in my opinion, and I think they got a really nice draw with getting West Virginia at home here.
Yep, I agree, man. I agree. All right. So what we got now. Let's get our picks, and we'll jump out of here because we've gone like an hour and 15 minutes. But I promised after the hell that was Wednesday that we would make it up. We would absolutely make it up, and I believe that we have. Okay, so let's get our picks for today, and we'll get out of here. Go ahead, let it rip. What you got?
We're on the over tonight in the Pacers Thunder game 1. And like we just talked about, we are on Oregon, Auburn, and Murray State to win game 1 as well as the Super Regional. We also added, like we just talked about, North Carolina and LSU in a money line parlay as well for the series at minus 160 is pretty nice odds.
Nice. All right, I'm going Pascal Siakam over 1.5 threes at plus 115. And we'll go Alex Caruso over 1.5 threes at plus 120. We'll be live today at 3 p.m. Eastern for Driving the Nightline. Big Tony said, producer did an okay job. He did an okay job. We're gonna get on his ass a little bit here after the show, but he did all right. Matty, I said, let's do another hour. I'm down. All right. Like I said, we'll be live 3 p.m. Eastern today for Drive the Nightline. But till then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. Oh, wait. Hold on. We got to do the Howie Schwab Crew Play of the Day. Hold on 1 second here. Let me pull this up. Our options today: Pacers 9.5, Thunder Pacers plus 9.5, Thunder minus 9.5. See it there, over 230.5, under 230.5. Pacers plus 9.5 is the winner at 39%. 39%. Second place was the Thunder minus 9.5. So the crew's going. Pacers 9.5. That surprised you a little bit, Greg?
Nope, not one bit. I like the over tonight. I like the Pacers to be the reason it gets to that over. So no, 9.5. I love it. I think I even see 10 at some spots right now. So I don't dislike it. I'll be crazy and continue to fade the train, but we'll look at the over more than anything. Like I said,
there we go. I love it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful Thursday. NBA Finals game 1 tonight. We'll be live at 3 p.m. Eastern today. All kinds more. All right, everybody. Best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you this afternoon. Thanks.
Who's got it better than us? No!